Tournament of Power is only 40 hours away, and in this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, we get a small appetizer as Goku does battle with Toppo, the hero of justice. Goku vs. Toppo's fight is pretty cool, but I think we can all agree that the real star of this week's episode has to be Toppo's mustache. Dr. Eggman envies that bushy, bearded badass. So this week's episode is pretty much what you would expect. A brand new character is introduced, and he is obnoxiously powerful. Toppo is a really fun character. He's essentially kind of a riff on the Ginyu Force, except that unlike being the mercenary bad guys from Frieza's army, he comes from the Pride Troopers, which are these renowned heroes. And according to Toppo himself, despite the fact that he is the leader, he's not even the strongest member of the Pride Troopers. That distinction is going to go to the character of Jiren the Grey, who is that one distinctive-looking gray alien that you see in the intro of this brand new arc. I can't wait to see what Jiren is all about, because Toppo himself absolutely holds his own with Goku. He manages to take a point-blank Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha Blast. He just shrugs that shit off like it's no big deal, and then starts to power up himself. His actual fighting style is very simple and really nothing too groundbreaking. Essentially, all of his special techniques involve him screaming out the word justice, followed by big balls of light exploding all over the place. But I do like the fact that he starts off the battle with a unique technique, which is the Justice Tornado, when he actually grabs onto Goku with his legs, spinning him wildly around. And let's not forget the hilariously named Justice Rear Naked Hold, which is basically just a big hold that he's doing on Goku, which causes him to unleash his Super Saiyan Blue abilities. This is when we're treated to a classic scene of them just bouncing around all over the place and exploding everything in their wake, which is funny because, of course, even Zen-Oh is having a hard time keeping up with the absolute speed of these guys. We also get some pretty slick choreography. I especially love the scene when they start having a great hand-to-hand sequence on the ground, and their actual power causes these massive craters to appear underneath them. It's got a lot of great impact, and it's just, again, another great preview to see what these battles are actually going to be like. And like I said, that one Kamehameha technique by Goku was really powerful, and I especially loved how he basically transmissioned right in front of him and hit him point-blank range, yet there he is, still standing, only a little bit of damage to his custom-made suit. And most importantly of all, his mustache was of course intact. That's when he starts to power up with this red aura around his body. Goku decides to unleash the power of Kaioken. Things are about to go crazy when suddenly the match is stopped by the Grand Priest, who feels that by showing off all of this power, one, they might accidentally kill each other, and they want to save some of the best stuff for the Tournament of Power. I don't know what it is about the Grand Priest, but something's not quite right about this guy. Almost as if he's the one who's really in charge of this entire operation, and Zen-Oh are just along for the ride. That and the fact that he is creating this ring, which apparently is going to take 40 hours of time, and that's probably because this is going to be unlike any fighting ring that we've seen in Dragon Ball. I have a couple personal theories about it that I'll get into a little bit later, but this episode essentially ends with Toppo still seeing Goku as a villain, promising to defeat him, and saying that even if he loses, Jiren the Grey will certainly take him down. This leaves Universe 7 with a choice of coming up with 10 different fighters to participate in the Tournament of Power. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? Action fans, you're gonna get exactly what you want from this episode, which is a lot of crazy choreography, lots of explosions, and really cool hard-hitting moves. Goku vs. Toppo was pretty damned awesome. I can't wait to see the other fighters from that universe. I can't wait to see the other Pride Troopers. I wonder if they're going to be elaborate and fun as Toppo is. Toppo really takes his whole hero of justice thing seriously, and he was a surprisingly powerful fighter. I knew that he wasn't just going to be a straight-up weakling. The fact that he actually pushed Goku to use Super Saiyan Blue and even use Kaioken towards the end has to be a testament for how strong this guy is going to be. He's effectively just a real big brick wall who could move really fast despite his surprisingly rotund appearance. I love the teasing that's also done in this episode, dropping some hints about Jiren the Grey. I love the fact that his name is Jiren the Grey because he's so obviously based on like the classical design of, like, aliens that we see from, like, UFOs, and I just like that, except that he's just really super buff. I can't wait to see that his personality is going to be a lot like I said, I'm really interested to learn a little bit more about these Pride Troopers, including the one who looks a lot like Beerus in the intro. I can't wait to see what his deal is. That's still a big mystery to a lot of people in the series. And otherwise, this was just a good one. Just a cool action episode right here with more build up to the Tournament of Power, which we probably won't have to wait that long to see with only 40 hours, but in the Dragon Ball world, 40 hours can really last a long time. I'm sure the next couple episodes are going to be devoted to gathering all of the fighters and seeing them go through some training sequences. What is interesting is in the next episode, it looks like Krillin is actually training with Basil, the kicker. I'm not sure whether or not Universe 9 is actually going to be practicing with Universe 7. Maybe this is some sort of weird hologram which has been cooked up by Bulma. Speaking of which, it looks like Bulma and Vegeta's daughter is going to be born in the next episode. That's going to be another milestone for the series. Guys, this is just a good one right here with some pretty decent production value, though. I'm not going to lie, there were some artwork moments that did look a little fugly, but for the most part, it was an exciting episode. I don't think it had the impact of the last three, which I felt were just a little more fun to watch, but basically this was just a tease episode to show you how strong the fighters from Universe 11 are. And that's saying a lot considering that they're run by a clown. So this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super gets a solid 4 out of 5 from me. Just a real fun, action-packed episode that's going to get people even more hyped for the next arc in the series. And like I said, the thing I'm most looking forward to see in this arc is actually the fighting ring, because this is going to be like a big free-for-all match between all of the various universes, and I have a feeling that this massive ring is going to be even bigger than we can possibly imagine, and the fact that it's going to have like multiple pieces involved leads me to believe that there are going to be secret traps in here and rooms that fighters are going to get trapped in and have to deal with certain opponents. There might be certain obstacles which are built into the ring. This is not just going to be a square ring that you have to knock your opponent out of. I think it's going to be a little trickier than that, and I can't wait to see that because I think it's going to bring some nice twists to the series, but that's just my theories. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of the battle between Goku and Toppo? Do you think that Toppo could have potentially defeated Goku in this battle, considering we didn't see a conclusion? How powerful is Jiren the Gray? And what do you hope to see from the rest of the Tournament of Power arc in Dragon Ball Super? Thank you guys again for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all things Dragon Ball Super related. Please leave me a comment or two, as I'd love to talk with you guys about this week's episode. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I will see you guys next time. And as always, stay Dan-Dan, baby.